Alright, so a new tier list is here. It's been 3 units and a few holy relics since the last one. I'm pretty sure... Let me actually check this. Okay, maybe not as many holy relics, just 2 holy relics. But I think it's already time to update this because there have been obviously developments on the meta that might influence a few of the positions here. So starting with PvP, let's first go up and down some characters that I think need to be like moved. First off, I'm sorry, but Green Sauriel, as we've played with goddesses more and more, unfortunately the one counter character that I actually like using has to go down. He's still very, very good. It's just that the Mael, Margaret, Goddess Liz team is just simply better. Obviously, Goddess Liz, last time I made the tier list was right after Mael came out, and people were not really using Goddess Liz. So, you know, I didn't move her up, but obviously Goddess Liz is like one of the best units in the game right now, which is kind of really sad to say, but it's true. It is what it is. So yeah, Ludociel can go down. One of the best teams in the game is Goddesses, and Ludociel doesn't work against them, so is what it is. I think Ram can be put down. Unknown is one of the best teams in the game, but Nanashi just absolutely cucks her by having a higher basic stab boost with his Holy Relic, plus the actual, you know, whole thing that he got going on. Yeah, with the defense-related stats and stuff, right? So ideally, you want to use Ram, you want to use Nanashi's Holy Relic, and honestly, Merlin, Lolly Merlin can go down as well. Just there's no team for her. Unknown, you're better off using Festival Merlin. So if you don't have Festival Merlin, she's good, but she's worse. So she should just be put down. And honestly, now for me, lots of characters going down. It's just the meta before was a little less restrictive. Honestly, before Ascanor, right? Since Ascanor, we got Ascanor, which was very strong, Purgatory Melee, which was obscenely strong, and now Mael, which is also very strong. And these 3 characters just don't allow people to come in and out. You know, other units are struggling. I am hesitant to put the end down. I would say that she's like at the top of sub-meta as well. She just gets shredded by Mael, Purgatory Melee. Honestly, these 2, you don't really see Ascanors that much. So, Ascanor is still really powerful. He's just not really used as much. So yeah, all these units being put down. I want to put down some characters from here to here as well. It's just, again, the meta is so bad right now. A lot of characters just can't be used. Honestly, any character that isn't up here is really hard to use. Festivals are just gonna go down as well. It's just so many characters, man. So many characters just are heavily cocked by this. You can't use Twigo anymore as an ult rusher. You just can't. He gets shredded. You just can't. We're at an age now that he just gets absolutely shredded. I will still keep the ult rusher characters here because they are good. That team still works, but if you're using Twigo, you just don't use Twigo. Like, he's just gonna get absolutely shredded first turn by Mael or Purgatory Melee. Not really worth it anymore. I want to put it right. I'm not going to because it would take too much time. Just know that anyone that isn't in meta is really hard to use right now. It's usable. You can win against people that are using people up here that aren't very good. Like players that don't have any cosmetics, players that don't have like good gear. You can win against them, but if they do have cosmetics and they do have good gear, very hard. Like very hard for you to win if you're using these units. I'll move over. So, Holy Relics. Let me go over the characters first. So, new characters, right? Actually, you can see next to Ermengander Baxton. Nildociel. So, Nildociel is pretty decent. He's not... It's like... He is not a good unit. But Mael plus Margaret is such a good combo that it makes Nildociel look even worse. You know what I mean? Like, not being able to use Margaret because you want to use this Luciao is so bad. And that's the worst thing about him, in my opinion. But the shield, if you have both him and Goddess Liz, you can double shield. So I'll put him up here. Again, not as good as using Margaret, so I have to just not. If he didn't have the same name as Margaret, right? And you could use them together, it would be way better, because then you could have an offensive team and still have a shield. But because they have the same name, because they're both called Luciel, you have to use them with Goddess Liz. You have 2 shields instead of having the cleanse, damage reduction, damage increase part of Margaret, and basic stats. So, I don't know. Not really worth it in my opinion for most cases. Megalda is obviously not a PvP character. She's garbage. And Roxy. So Roxy just came out. She might be a character that goes up and down depending on the next few characters that end up releasing, because like she is heavily reliant on humans. Because she's so new, I'll pull her up. She's heavily reliant on humans. You know, she gets the her whole passive depends on humans. Your allies have to be humans, and right now the only good human that is like a damaging character that crits is honestly Escanor. You can get away with using other ones as well, like even Reinhardt and stuff, but realistically it's just Escanor. He's the only good human, right? In the game, in PvP. So that is really unfortunate. I mean, excluding like Arthur and stuff, because they don't crit. Like it should be crit and single target, and he is the one, right? He's the one, but he's also the one that actually can do that. So it will depend on future characters coming out. If we get an AOT collab next, right, and it's going to be updating Levi and Mikasa, and maybe releasing 2 more humans, and all of them can like crit on single target, that's a huge increase for this Roxy. But we don't know that. And if the new festival unit is a human, whoever that might be, maybe Chaos Arthur, like those things will be very relative for this Frenzy Roxy here to actually be a meta character. So as of right now, I wouldn't say she's a meta character. She's really fun to use though. I had a lot of fun using her with Escanor, but I faced some Roxys and I absolutely demolished them. You know why? Because demons are just so much better. Demons are just plainly better than using Roxy with Escanor. It just is. Even if you're going first against me and I'm using demons, I will still probably win. Demons are just way better. So you can't really put her up there. But again, in like 2 or 3 months, it will depend on their decisions. Maybe they even give her a relic already, right? They gave a relic to Freya like instantly. There's nothing stopping them. So that could be the case. I like the unit, but I can't really consciously put her above here. Alright, so that's PvP for the new units. Now, relics. So, new relic for Zeldris is already up here. There's no point. Assault Melee, though, is a really tough choice, because the way I see is the new relic is really good. Like, genuinely, really good. I was very surprised, because when we saw what the relic did, like, in words, on paper, I was like, it's good. At the start of battle, increases the basic stats by 30% for 2 turns. Those are 3 individual buffs for his Amplify, which does make a difference, right? It does make a difference. And then for each buff on him, right, increases his all stats by 5% up to 2 times. It's not this, but okay. I'm pretty sure it's not this that he does. I've played with him. He increases all stats. I don't know. I'll go with what's written right here. Regardless. The relic is really good. Really good. Right? Problem is... The problem is, you can't use him with Estarossa. That's like the biggest, like, tap on your balls, man. It's so annoying that you can't run him with Estarossa, because you're going to be losing your boss when you attack, and you're like, oh, just don't use Estarossa. Really? You're not going to use Estarossa? You're not going to use like Estarossa. Okay. Who are you going to use then? Sigurd. Sure. You give him more buffs. Sigurd dies in 1 shot. from another enemy Estarossa. Oh, and guess what? You're gonna be facing Estarossas, and they're gonna be removing your buffs. That's like the most cock and ball torture about this unit. So for that reason, I can't put him on meta. Like, oh, it's so close. And I think the worst part is, so he only regains the buffs if he is not attacked. So if the hero takes damage on the remaining turn, if the hero does not take damage, apply the same effect. He has to not take damage. This is incorrect. He has to not take damage. Then he regains the buff. So if the enemy just attacks melee, he will just never get the buff again, like the 30%. He will still be... I'm now unsure of what the fuck he does, because this is very conflicting to my own experience. I might be getting mixed up the all stats with his own passive, but I swear, first turn, I've seen the 3 buffs give him all stats. Like the basic stats, giving him all stats. I don't know. I'll have to use him more, I guess, to see it in person. Regardless, right? For that fact, people are going to know what to do against him. Like, first day when I used him, people got kind of destroyed. But people will know what to do, right? And that will be a problem for him. So I can't really... But Assault Melee's Relic is crazy. For what it is, being Assault Melee, that's crazy. I am really hopeful that they're not going to fumble Lost Vein and maybe eventually Trader Melee. Because Assault Melee's Relic was a W. Huge, like, all relics need to be like this. All of them. Let's move to PvE. That was a long PvP session. Alright. PvE, there hasn't been much to change, to be honest. Because I already have talked about Freya's Holy Relic. So let's just talk about the new units. So, Ludo is decent, kind of, for the new boss. Like, the thing is, right now, the boss is, the new boss, right? The new Demonic Beast battle is in the direction of wanting to have a full goddess team. It's really, you know, their goal with Freya's Holy Relic. Mael was, they clearly wanted to choose Mael as well for the damage reduction. Ludo kind of fits in. The problem is that you have to sacrifice one of these two. So right now, this is the team, right? This is the best team. And the good thing about Ludo is that he's a Pierce card, which makes some of the bar, how I want to say, lowering, I guess, better, right? Because the Pierce cards lower the bar more than just regular cards. But sacrificing one of these units is really bad. So people have been finding success using him, but not as much as these two. So I can't consciously put him here. He's decent though. He has a use case. So, but he's not optimal. And if it's not optimal and he's a new unit, you might as well use one of these 2 units that are very old. You know what I mean? Oh, she's actually not very old. She is very old. Megalda. Megalda's a different story. She's actually pretty good. You know, I gave her a lot of shit because her relic doesn't work. But she's actually pretty good. The increase in ultimate gauge can be very helpful. She has been decent for my fast farm on dogs, but honestly, I've been liking Roxy better. And Roxy goes up here as well. She's not optimal, but she is great. Honestly, great for Demonic Beasts. When it comes to fast farming, I used her with Ascanor, and it was really, really good for just clearing the stages fast. Now, for obviously the new beast, she didn't work, but almost nothing works in a new beast. New beast is so specific, and we don't even have the unit that's made for it yet. So you have to wait for that, really. Megalda could be up there. It's just Megalda. She only really is good, in my opinion, for what I've used. I've tried her on all Demonic Beasts. She's a Demonic Beast unit, right? I've tried her on all Demonic Beasts. She's pretty good on dogs for the fast farm. But if you can't fast farm dogs, I don't think she's gonna help you complete it for the first time, if that makes any sense. And for the new beast, people have done floor 3 with her, but struggled immensely. Kind of like Ludocio. But as she has like a practical use, and Ludocio is more of like a, look, I can do this with Ludocio. There's actually a decent use for her, so I'll put her up. And Roxy, there's a use for her. The fast farming is pretty good. Honestly, there's a lot of characters I should move down, but like you, her damage is like so outdated at this point. You, kind of want to put Askiner down as well. You, I think it's good. All right. So this is a small update to the PvP and PvE lists. If you want to see like the bottom characters for whatever reason, there they are. Same for PvP. Honestly, there's a lot of, like, the bottom, I don't really focus on the bottom too much because anyone that is competent and below is characters I would never recommend anyone using PvP ever. To be honest. They're characters that are basically useless unless you want to do something for fun. Sure, right? I don't know why you would do that, to be fair. But, you know, anyone that's sub-meta and meta, our characters I actually care about being in the correct place because those are characters actually usable. So, yeah, that's about it. If there's any changes you think I should do, make sure to let me know.